So constellation diagram is a diagram that which has all its message points. So constellation diagram is a diagram that which contains all message points plotted on n-dimensional, in general n-dimensional Euclidean space. So this diagram we call it as constellation diagram. But the thing is, when this signal is transmitted over channel, so when this signal, be it S1 of t, S2 of t or S3 of t, when it is transmitted over channel, it has effect of noise. So W of t will act on these signals and it might shift this point, somewhere in a region that which is close enough to this S1 of t. So I hope you are getting the idea. Because of noise, when this signal is received by the receiver, so when this x of t is received at the receiver end, when the signal passes through the channel and when it is received at the receiver end, we call that signal as x of t, that is given as summation of Si of t plus W of t. So here, because of this noise W of t, from this x of t we got to again extract this useful information, and from this we got to estimate m cap. Here this cap here indicates estimate of actual message signal that which was transmitted, because we are getting this Si of t only because of mi, that which was in the earlier stage. So this mi in turn gets converted to Si of t, and in turn this Si of t will be transmitted over the channel, but this channel is associated with this additive Gaussian noise. Because of this noise W of t, here we'll receive x of t, but the ultimate thing is we got to get to know this Si of t and we got to estimate this mi cap, that which we call as estimate of message, and we got to compare whether is this equal to mi that which was transmitted. This is the process that which is happening. What I was about to explain is, just because of this noise W of t, it might so happen that this, instead of that value being at the position of S1 of t, just because of this additional noise, so it might shift to some other point, that is close enough to this signal S1 of t. Likewise here, if I consider S2 of t, the received signal might shift to a region that which is close enough to S2 of t. Likewise, if S3 signal was transmitted, but the received signal point will be somewhere shifted like this. And this creates problem while decoding. This sort of shifting thing creates problem or issue while decoding. Because we human beings have intelligence, but the thing is, in order to impart that intelligence onto a decoder, that which is on the receiver end, it has to do some calculations. Only based on these calculations, so this decoder is kind of, we can think of it to be blind. It cannot see this vicinity, that this received signal is close enough to S1 of t, or this received signal is close enough to this S2 of t or S3 of t in general. So it is blind. What it can do is, all it knows is some mathematical calculations. So based on this mathematical calculation, it will get to know whether the estimate m cap of t is equal to, whether it's equal to m or not. So this is the decoding issue, and in this session we'll see more about it. So in this session we'll go through the detection problem. We'll go through the detection problem that which happens at the decoder end. Decoder end or at the receiver end. The solution for this problem is maximum likelihood detection, and we'll try to know about all these things, maximum as well as likelihood as well as detection, when we go through this topic in detail. Why is this called as maximum, or why is this called as likelihood, and why is this called as detection? Anyhow, we got to know that it's a detection process. What decoder does is it will try to detect the estimate whether it's equal to the transmitted message signal or not. So anyhow, this detection term we are familiar with it, but whereas let's see why is this associated with two more new terminologies like maximum and likelihood terms. Okay, now let's see what is this problem that which we are having at the detection end. So the detection problem is stated as follows. Given the observation vector, so here observation vector is nothing but observation vector. So for which, let me get back to this previous case. So here we had plotted message vector. So I can call this as a vector, and specifically I got to call it as message vector, MSV vector. Or let me make a new diagram for this. So let me draw a two-dimensional Euclidean space just for simplicity's sake. So let this be phi1 of t, and let this be phi2 of t, and let this point indicate s1 of t. Let this point over here indicate s1 of t, where its point is given as some value for phi1 comma some value for phi2. So this is some point that which indicates the transmitted signal, or because this is being indicated using a point, I can call this as transmitted signal point. Now if I join or if I draw a vector that which starts from the origin, it has its tail at the origin and it has its head. I am using the terminology head, that which indicates this arrowhead. And its head ends at this point. So this gives me a vector, and I'll call this as message vector. I can call this as message vector or signal vector. So message vector, as well as I can make use of one more synonym, that which is signal vector. I can make use of all these terminologies. So all these indicate the message vector itself. Whenever you hear of signal vector or message vector, it is trying to indicate transmitted signal point using a vector symbol, in a two-dimensional Euclidean space in our case, or in general n-dimensional Euclidean space. And let me draw one more point over here. So when this signal S1 of t is transmitted via channel, because of channel noise, it might so happen that this point will shift in this two-dimensional Euclidean space, and let's say this, I'll be getting this shifted point. I can call this as the received signal. And because this is being indicated by a point, I can call this as the received signal point. And this received signal point in fact represents, I can again draw one more vector that which has its tail at the origin and it has its head at this point, and I can call this as received vector. Or observational vector or observed vector. I can call this vector as observed vector. So here you got to be careful, because we are trying to use this terminology observed vector for received signal vector. This point here indicates the received signal, and because it's being represented by a point, I can call it as received signal point. And if I draw a vector whose tail starts at the origin and whose head ends at this point, this gives me a vector, and we can call this as observed vector. So in fact, we can use this terminology observed vector for received signal vector, or observed vector. And this observed vector is actually trying to indicate x of t, that which is received signal, whereas this message vector is indicated by s1 of t, whereas observed vector is indicated by x of t. So back here, let's go through this problem statement again. So detection problem can be stated as follows. What is that? Given the observation vector x, perform a mapping from x to an estimate of the transmitted symbol mi in a way that would minimize the probability of error in decision making process. So all we are trying to do is we are trying to minimize this probability of error, and we all know that this probability of error is given as p of e. So here detection problem can be stated as given the observation vector, because let's assume that we are standing at the receiver end. All we got to do is we got to assume that we are standing on the receiver end, and what is the signal that which we know? We know this x of t, and we don't know what exactly has been transmitted. We don't know this. So this is, we don't know this si of t. All we know this is this received signal x of t. This is known to us, and this is something that which we are supposed to derive from x of t. This is something we got to derive from x of t. Only this has been received. So given the observation vector x, perform a mapping from x to, so what we are trying to do? We are trying to map x onto something, and what is that? We got to map from x to an estimate of the transmitted signal mi. So from this we got to get this mi cap, where, and we got to see whether this is equal to the transmitted message signal. So first of all, we got to do this mapping. So for this, it involves a lot of mathematical process in between. So this is the problem. We got to estimate this. We got to estimate this such that probability of error is minimal. Only when probability of error is minimal, we can estimate it.